Oh, and for the audience, you viewers who have joined us here at the Bunt. So I set up the camera because I just wanted it to look different than the other shit. So I set up a camera here. I'm talking to you, camera one, and then camera two to my right is Seifa and Dono. So, hopefully, maybe you can play that at the beginning. This is our thumbnail.
All right, let's get this thing popping. I'm D Jones. I got my main man, the Ghost, with me. This is the Bunt, and we've got Jason Dill in the building. What's going on, man?
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
It couldn't be happier, man.
It's nice to be here. Let me show you. I'll get excited.
Let's go.
Woo! Wait, is it going?
That's how we're starting, eh?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I like it. So, Dill, we start every show off the same. Hit us with your favorite skate moment and your favorite sports moment.
Not to start out apoplectic, but I don't like favorite. Favorite is such a limiting word. Like with sports, it's a collection of things. It's like Jesse Owens and Carl Lewis and Rod Carew and Jackie Robinson and fucking Tommy Smith and John Carlos doing the fist raise at the '68 Olympics. It's so, and I get like, I understand. I have a thing with favorite. It's just like, that's my favorite movie. It's like, okay, well, fucking watch that movie the rest of your life and see how much it's your favorite. So that's that with that. But the Willie Mays catch, the fucking Will. I know you guys. Come on, you guys have baseball teams up there. The Expos still exist, right?
The Expos are done, but we got the Blue Jays.
See what do I know? But anywho, the Willie Mays catch. Like, show the footage over this. Like, you'll know the catch. He catches it backward.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't even.
You never seen this?
Yeah, we've seen this. The one where he's not looking. He's running the opposite way and catches it over his shoulder, right?
So good, so incredible. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't watch. Not couldn't, but I don't watch modern day baseball. Shohei Ohtani, it's amazing. It's amazing to be in Tokyo nowadays, and you see people on the train with Angels hats and Shohei jerseys. That's fucking insane. Like, I've been going to Tokyo since 1994, and like, you don't usually see that. But I don't watch modern sports at all. But you're talking to someone who's watched the Ken Burns baseball documentary like 19 times, and that thing's 7 hours long. You guys know who Ken Burns is?
I don't know Ken Burns. No.
Sorry to let you down, man.
No, that's not letting me down. I'm not a judgmental person. Jeez, I don't know who you've been talking to. But Ken Burns, he's a documentary filmmaker. Trust me, knowing about Ken Burns will only add to your enjoyment in life. So look up Ken Burns. He made the documentary on jazz, and he made a documentary on baseball, and he made the documentary on Vietnam. Ken Burns is incredible. He's just an incredible filmmaker, and he's fantastic. So, and I so don't get. I understand people are bored and they hate their wives and like whatever, like, but I don't get the thing like, we were gonna make it to the playoff, but like I don't like that like we like thing when people are talking about their sports team of choice.
Dude, that's me, man.
And then like yelling at the TV, like, if you would have put Owens in, he would have gone to the 50-yard line. Like, that shit is corny to me.
Oh man.
And then the second question, are you phrasing it as the best moment I think of in skateboarding, or my own moment?
It's kind of like a wide open thing, like wherever you want to take it.
I think you guys should be more specific.
Well, we're just warming up.
I'm just giving it to you guys. I'm just railing you guys, huh?
We're just warming up, dude.
Hey, you guys. You think there's going to be any sightings of Drake courtside at those Raptor games coming up? I don't know.
There are no Raptors games coming up, dude.
Yeah, they are. Done. Like after the summer.
Yeah, it'll all have blown over by then. Yeah.
Blown over? That shit don't blow over. That is permanent, like concrete.
Yeah.
Concrete's not permanent either, but whatever. I don't give a shit. I was totally joking.
We have differing opinions on how that beef is going here inside the Bunt as well. Save is a Kendrick guy. I'm a Drake guy. Let's
not count out the Weeknd. He's swinging in there too. Watch out. He'll get crazy on your ass. But the act of skateboarding, the history of skateboarding. I'd say the day Mark Gonzalez was born was probably one of the most important days ever in skateboarding.
Boom. Let's go.
He's the greatest skateboarder alive. He's the greatest skateboarder that ever existed. And then Guy Mariano and Day One are also in that realm of it's fucking magic what they have done. And then of course you have Mike Carroll, Matt Hensley, fucking Grant Taylor is everything. Grant Taylor is an amazing moment in skateboarding.
For sure.
You know, but I don't know. I'm trying to say something even more poignant. But I'm leaving tons of people off my greatest and magic list of people. But yeah, I gotta say when Mark Gonzalez was born was probably, I wouldn't be here without Mark. No way. He was such an influence on me, you know?
Love that answer.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you loving it.
Getting more specific to you, take us back to the beginning. Jason, where'd you grow up and how'd you get into skateboarding?
I grew up in Huntington Beach, California. It's a horrible place. And but it did give me skateboarding. When I was 8 years old, my dad went to jail and we had to move, and we moved to this section of Huntington Beach closer to the ocean, and not close to the ocean, but like, I don't know, good like 40 blocks in from the ocean. And I'm 8 years old, and Ed Templeton lived across the street. And
crazy.
Yeah, I bought a used skateboard off a kid named Mario with no grip tape. And I just started doing it, you know. I just started, and luckily Ed and excuse me, I knew we were gonna have a burp on here. Jeez. So Ed and those guys are all 4 and 5 years older than me, and so I'm 8 and they're 13. That's a big. They were like men to me, you know what I mean? They had like little scum stashes and talked about jerking off and shit. Like I was a little child, and then they just said, if you don't go off that ramp, you can't hang out with us. So they were tough on me, and they bullied me, but in a way that in the end was beneficial for me.
Right.
For sure. So what would you consider your first big break in the skate industry?
Well, I broke my right arm on a slide when I was 7. So that was my first break. I was standing up. I put sand down the slide. And you know how the slide has a little kink at the bottom? So I put sand down the slide, and I was in my socks. So I act like I was like a skier, like skiing down. And I slipped out, and I broke my right arm right here. And I was with my grandmother and my cousin, and she was a nurse. So she put me in the back of her Ford Pinto. She had a light blue Ford Pinto, which is the most white trash car. And yeah, she drove me to the hospital, and I got surgery and all that. But as far as my career goes, I wasn't satisfied with the way I looked on a skateboard until, and not fully satisfied, because there's still stuff in this where I'm like, oh my God, you look like such a fucking nerd and your style's kind of whatever on some tricks. But when Snuff came out, the 101 Snuff video, that's when I felt as if I was around the dudes that mattered and I was bringing something to the table. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just, well, then back then it was like everything had to be a fucking MBD. It's pretty much like everything. And that was stressful being like 15, filming for Snuff, where it's like, okay, nollie front 20 heel flip fakie manual. I've never seen it before. Just, you have to do it. Like nollie heel flip backside tailside. I'd never seen it before. You have to do it. It was cool because there were so many tricks that had never been done. But you see that footage that, I don't know if it's Dave Schlossbeck himself putting out the footage, the found footy thing. Have you guys watched that? The old footage where it's just raw tapes.
No, I haven't seen that yet.
So Dave Schlossbeck's a guy that if Sock wasn't filming us, we'd be filming with this guy, Dave Schlossbeck. And so it's either Schlossbeck or someone he knows is putting out all this footage. And it's all of us at the courthouse, Keenan, Gino, and me. And there's so much shit. And we go so long without landing anything. Like people were so inconsistent back then. Well, I was, you know. But Snuff felt good to know I was like, I got my foot in the door. And of course, I have a tremendous respect for Nodis. So, you know, it was Nodis. So I was happy to even be recognized by, it's fucking Nodis. Nodis Coppice, like, you know. And I was with Gino, so that was good. And I always kind of rode on Gino's coattails. And I felt like I was fully riding on Gino's coattails until Trilogy. Because everything up into that, it's like pimples and like a weird haircut. And I use good music in my parts, and I picked those. I'm proud of myself for a 15-year-old kid skating to Bretton Wood. But Trilogy was the one, not to talk about my fucking self, but whatever. I am proud of my career, so fuck it. I want to talk about my career. I did a good job. Everybody can go fuck themselves. No, just kidding. But Trilogy was where I felt like I found a good way to dress. I had my hair, and I liked what I was doing. I liked how I looked. That's an important thing. When you see your own video part, if you don't like the way you look, it's like looking down at your shoes. If you don't like the way it looks, you know, that's imperative to the execution of style and grace and ability and whatnot. So
100%. You came out swinging in Trilogy, man. Those last three tricks are still insane to this day.
Well, let's take a look at those three tricks.
Please, Switchback 5. Classic.
Yeah, the Nollie 180. Yeah. I got so broke trying that. But I'm glad it happened. I'm glad I did it. Yeah.
Which one? Switchback 5?
The Nollie 180 switchbacks at 50-50?
Oh, yeah. Dude.
What were you? You're talking about switchbacks at 50 on the out rail?
I was just saying all three of them are crazy.
I don't even remember the switchbacks at 50. I think I was so scared, I just shut it out of my head. Because I tried to go like, Gino would go so fast. And so I thought, man, I got to stop being a bitch. I got to go fast. Like, that's really important to go fast. Because in Snuff, I'm kind of going slow. And then right when we started filming for Trilogy, Gino just decided to start going really, really fast.
Sick. What were you going to say about the Nollie 180 Switchback 50?
Oh, then I got super broke trying it. But that was difficult. I'm proud of that one. That was a good one.
It was massive pop to get up there on that one. So what's the story behind getting kicked out of school for your clothes, but you didn't care because you had a drawers trip the next day?
I'm sure you guys have something similar in Canada, where you miss. I wasn't a bad kid. I wasn't I just would skip school to go to San Francisco to shoot with Gabe Morford, and I would leave my mom a note that just said, "I'm sorry, but I had to leave. I'll be back in 3 days." So I missed so much school that they sent me to a continuation school. So kicked out of high school, but you have to keep going to school, which is a continuation school. And so they lock you in the school. Like you show up in the morning and you can't leave. There's no way out because it's the square. It's a small campus. And you weren't allowed to wear sports attire because of gang affiliation stuff. And I was wearing a Michigan Wolverines hoodie that I bought at like fucking Ross, that I thought that Gino and Keenan would think was cool, because Gino and Keenan taught me how to dress. Keenan, I remember being at the airport with Keenan going to New York when I was 17, and Keenan they were Adidas high tops, and he took them off my feet and relaced them and like made it wider so they weren't all bunched up. And I so appreciate that. And a security guard came up to me at the continuation school, and he wanted to take my sweater away from me. And I got into like a small scuffle with him. I was like as tall. I was like as tall as Spanky. Like I was, I was 17, 1994. And apparently I was in big trouble and this and that. But I went to Japan and then I quit school. So yeah. So that was like sophomore year or something like that.
And then that was it? You were done with school at that point?
You're 17.
Yeah. Take us behind the scenes on the infamous nose slide at Huntington High that you and Ave did around the same time.
So there was a 7-stair handrail at Huntington High School and it's not the famous one that Ed nose grinded on the cover of Transworld. That was a 5-stair, but there was a 7-stair rail in this hallway, and it had a crazy long kink on it, like that long. And I nose slid it, and then I showed up at Huntington High months later, whatever, and I see this kid doing it, and I just thought, wow, that's gnarly that he's doing that. And that was Anthony, and that's kind of how I met Anthony. And Anthony's story behind it was he did it without filming it, and he was skating with some other dudes, and he told them that he nose slid it. And they said, "No, you didn't. You're lying." And he's like, "What? I'll do it right now." And he jumped from the top onto his cock and balls and taint and butthole on the kink, and then smacked his face on the bricks. So, yeah.
Did you get the clip?
I took a photo with Rick Cossack, so it never came out.
Damn.
What's that?
Need that photo.
Mm-hmm.
But that's when I met Anthony, and then from there,
Love it. Yeah, speaking of Ave, we had him on to Spark this season.
Yeah, I watched. That's really cool.
Yeah, he told us his version of that story. He told us a bunch of stories, but do you have an Ave story that you think the people might not know to share with us today?
There's a lot I can't tell. I know that. But Anthony went from being a psychopath who was really good at skateboarding, but just really psycho. Like if he drank, like it was very difficult to hang out with him. And he did crazy shit. And I had fun with him at times. I definitely had fun, but there's times where it got scary. But then he turned his life around and really became the man he is today. And I'm just really happy for him that he's doing what he's doing now. And but as far as it goes, like the fucking us going to jail in Arizona story has been told 25 times, but no, you get partnered up in skateboarding. You kind of get partnered up in these duos, and it's beautiful. Like you got Rick and Mike and so many duos. So I'm just glad that I got him, you know?
Big
Unreal
1-2.
1-2 punch. Mm-hmm.
No, we were good for each other. It was great.
So during the time period when you were staying with Ave, starting to get back into skating and getting on vans, Anthony told us you started flying through his $40 a tub protein powder. Said he showed up looking a little skinny and pale and ended up being tanned and jacked by the end of it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I was living in New York and I hadn't skated in about a year. And I just wanted to get my career back. I did. I felt like I had more to give. I was 33 at the time. And I just wanted to see if I could do it again. And Anthony was already for years on a super strict like diet and regiment and whatnot. And so when I called him to come out and stay with him, he was just happy. He said, I just want you back on a board and I want someone to skate with. So this is great. And we would skate every day. And then there was the Beeble training facility thing, Beeble, Ave, Mark Johnson guy. So we would go there, warm up, go out and film, and then come back there and skate at night for another 3 hours. So it was just skate. And I just kept eating, what is it, whey powder? The protein?
Yeah, something like that.
Ave showed me, like, you crack an egg, put it in here, and make these protein shakes with ice. And I just kept doing it. And I was doing these jail style workouts, like the dips in the chair and the sit-ups. And I ended up fucking like looking like Bruce Lee. Like I was shredded. Like I had six pack, everything. And then that's when we filmed all that stuff for the Cinematographer's Project, where it's the alien section, and then Bill had a section. And yeah, that led into like what all of that comeback led into. I mean, I'm at the FA warehouse right now. I'm in the studio we built for the radio show.
Epic,
bro. One of the sickest sections or just montages ever in skateboarding, in my opinion. Flawless Cinematographer Project.
Yeah, the workshop section of that. I remember being in Ohio when Mike Hill played me that song. I think it's a Norwegian. I don't even know what to call the music, but Mike found that, and when he played me the song, I just thought, yes, like this fucking rules. Like it was so good.
Yeah, the build-up was so good. Everything worked so well to that kick front tail bay block. So many insane things in that edit. Jake
went on like 2 or 3 different trips trying that. I think Bill filmed it, and yeah, I'm pretty sure Bill filmed it, and or maybe Benny, but I remember hearing Jake was trying that, and I just thought, wow, that's fucking insane. Like that's really crazy. And he didn't get it, so I wasn't really surprised. Like, okay, whatever. And I remember getting the call. Like, he got it. Like, oh my god, that's fucking gnarly. But yeah, we were really proud of that section, and I remember when we left the theater, it was me and Dylan and Ave and people like milling about out front. And I think I don't think he minded me doing it, but I'm pretty sure I walked over to Jim Thiebaud and slapped him on the butt and said, "How about that shit?" and then when we got by the van, Dylan said, Did we not fucking kick ass?" I was like, "We kicked ass," because we'd always say in the workshop days, we'd always say that, like, you got to kick some ass. Like, we're not kicking ass. Like, if we're not kicking ass, it's not it. So you got to kick ass. So yeah, I miss Dylan immensely. It's like a daily, weekly thing of remembering and accepting the fact that he's not here. It's really strange. It's I've lost a lot of friends. I just lost my friend not I lost him, he lost his own life, but my friend Travis Graves, he was a guy that he was a skater. He didn't go far in skateboarding, but he was my super dear friend. He made music under the name Mount Egypt. And Travis was great. And I lost him. I found out my last day in Japan. I spent 3 months between Korea and Tokyo this last summer. And
Nice.
He was friends with Spanky too. And I found out that Travis passed. And Travis was living in St. Augustine, Florida, living at campgrounds and motels. And just, he was having fun, but he just was like, he was too crazy. But I miss Travis immensely. And I've lost a lot of people, but yeah, sorry, not to bring the show on a downer.
No worries. Sorry for your loss, man.
Yeah.
Hey, it's life. We all have to deal with it.
Well, Cinematographer Project group effort there, but as an individual, you've had a lot of epic parts over the years.
Oh, get out of here.
Iconic videos. No, for real. Photo, Trilogy, Minefield. Which is your favorite part when you look back at everything, and why?
Safe, here you go with your favorite again.
Yeah, we use that a lot around here.
Eat your favorite food for a year straight. See if it's your favorite.
I know. Trust me.
I know.
They're hard. They're hard because they can change every week, every day.
No, I have a thing with favorite, and if I go to dinner with a woman and she says, yummy, I have a big problem with that. And of course, I'm a psycho. So of course, well, I'm super proud of photosynthesis, of course. Back then, when photosynthesis came out and when you made parts that were hard hitting, it has that crazy lasting impact because it was of that time period, So I'm lucky. I'm super like I don't mind being an older statesman at this point at all. I'm real comfortable with my age. I wish I had a little more hair on my head. Yeah, I wish I was pretty like I used to be. But fuck it, I'm like ugly in a pretty way. That's what the ladies tell me. But no, when I get asked nowadays, like when I start dating nowadays, I'm like, you want to make out with this and shit? And, okay, cool, great. And I'm still going strong. You know what I mean? I'm still going strong. But yeah, fucking Photo was great. Trilogy was great. And Mosaic, I really worked hard on. I fucking super worked hard on Mosaic. And I wanted a part of all lines. And I just really thought that would be. And I got that from watching Henry and Javante at E&B. The video parts where they did so many lines. And I just thought, man, it'd be really cool if someone did a part of all lines. And so I did it. I think for me, it's like, I'm my own fucking worst critic. You ask anyone who knows me, anyone I've worked with, Greg Hunt, Ty, whatever, like I've tried to pull shit out of videos and they've had to be like, dude, don't, like, please. Like my ender from Minefield is fucking horrible. And Greg was just like, well, I was on drugs, but Greg convinced me.
That's what we were going to ask you about next. Tell us about the Ender and Minefield a bit, man.
Months and months of going every Saturday and Sunday to the Family Courts building on Center Street in Lower Manhattan and getting kicked out by the security and just landing and shooting out, landing and falling forward, like perfect back threes, land perfect and just ride and fall down. My Minefield part is like, like it's squeaked by. Like I was in bad shape during Minefield. I was in bad shape personally, and a good friend of mine died, and I don't know. If anyone tells me to this day that they like my Minefield part, I say thank you, totally cool. But inside, I'm like, I didn't, I was being a kook. I was just being a kook, like I wasn't focused, and it could have been a lot better. Like if you look at Heath Kirchard's part in Minefield, like that's like a Thanksgiving dinner. Like it's like fuck Thanksgiving. It's such a corny holiday. So I shouldn't have said that. That's like it's like I don't eat meat. I don't eat animals. I eat fish because fish are aliens. We all know that. But Heath Kirchard's part in Minefield is like it's like a British roast. You know what I mean? It's got everything. It's even got like the fried tomatoes and all the shit. My part in Minefield is like a day old fillet of fish. You could still eat it.
Come on, bro.
So we got your least favorite.
Look, and I'm not being self-deprecating to go fishing for you to be like, no, Dill, we think it's super cool. Like, you know what I mean? Which I just totally landed by doing that. But and I most like Greg Hunt is like a family member of mine. I've known Greg for fucking ever. I was walking down the street in San Francisco and it was raining at night and I had no money. I had nowhere to stay. And I was scared. I was fucking 15 years old. I ran into Greg Hunt. He's like, yes, come stay at my place. And I stayed at Greg's house for like 3 nights. And I most certainly probably borrowed money from him. But that like Greg, over time, Greg became like seriously like a fucking family member. You know what I mean? So I would never want Greg to think that I hate that part. Because I don't hate it. I just know, I know what I was capable of at the time.
Right.
And the part doesn't show it.
So favorites photo, least favorite Minefield.
Favorite. I don't say favorite.
Okay.
He's
Well,
forcing
you like photo.
Look. Without sounding like a narcissistic prick. Yeah, photosynthesis fucking rules. Like, fuck yeah. I'm so glad that like laid the groundwork for the rest of my career. You know what I mean? Like, I was so proud of it. And Mike Hill and Joe Castrucci did such a good job. And I love that you guys have me on Friday, the fucking 10th. That's very funny.
You call me more often than not sure what day of the week it is.
Carter, it is fucking Friday, the fucking 10th.
I'm just telling you, Dill, my observations, and I'm worried about you.
Yeah, when they did that intro with them recording me, I didn't know that they were recording me. And that was over like a couple months of them recording Carter and my phone call.
Nice. In the photo part, can you take us back to that line you did where all of a sudden midline you hop off the board, run down some stairs, huck down some other stairs? That was quite the unique choice there. How'd you put that one together?
I'd be glad to. Do you guys have time?
We got all the time.
I'm just kidding. So World Trade, the World Trade Center, the towers, that was a spot. And not the spot I'm skating, but that was a spot where they had these benches and these planners. Like Huff had that photo where he ollied up the bench and ollied the planner. I think he 180'd it. And Keith Huffnagel, gigantic, like the psychotic influence on me. I fucking loved Huff. God damn it. Like what a great skateboarder person, just a huge influence on me. And the last time I skated the benches at World Trade was with Huff and Ari Markopoulos. So that spot, which is the Veterans Center, I believe that the spot where I go over the barricade and up the curb and down the stairs, I just saw how you could go like from the street at the top. It just looked cool. Like that's why I think New York on film is so beautiful. You know, skateboarding in New York just looks so incredible. And that little street, then down, then I never saw many people do fakie frontside shove it, so I love that trick. I always thought that was a great trick. And then I turn around and walk down the stairs, and I knew I had enough room. But that gap at the end, like not to pat myself on the back, but that gap at the end, like. It wasn't Jamie Thomas shit. It was fucking huge. It was really big. Yeah. And I don't know if the video actually really gives it justice. It's like it's a set of stairs, and then flat, and then a chain that went into a then defunct fountain or something like that. But no, like, dude, fucking every damn day I'm glad I walked down those fucking stairs. Are you kidding me? Like,
For
shit.
sure.
I feel like that. I feel like that fucking solidified my career. Like you can get rid of this bitch now. He's in there. He's in there. He's in there for life.
All right. Switching gears a little bit. You once flew to Australia with the legend Fred Gall. Take us back to that adventure and how that was. What happened on that plane ride?
What, did Freddie tell you about this?
Yeah.
I mean, I just so my mom doesn't take Xanax anymore, but my mom and I had a bit of an issue with the pill, and it's a fucked up thing to be addicted to. Xanax is really gnarly, and when you're on it and you're taking it every day in your normal life, not just for airplane flights or whatever, it's debilitating to your whole makeup and the way you act and behave. So I got Xanax from my mom, but this time she got me like a whole fucking bottle with like 50 in it. And I'd never been to Australia. This is probably 2001. And I'd never been to Australia. And I got drunk. And the last thing I remember was cheersing with Fred in the airport bar at LAX. And then I woke up and a Qantas Airways stewardess was shaking me awake. And there was no one on the plane. I look over and Freddie's just looking at me like so tripped out. I didn't know what happened, but I took a lot of the pills in the bottle because I was so drunk. And Freddie ended up just taking it from me finally. And he hid it from me. And like Fred was so funny. He's like, yo, at one point, like I got my food and a little glass of wine. You woke up and you looked over at me and you smiled and you just knocked my wine into my lap. I don't remember any of it. I don't remember a thing. But yeah, kids, don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. But me and Fred had a great trip. And I remember going to a place called Burley Heads, which is a really crazy surf spot. And we were staying overnight there in this great rented house. And I remember Fred, right before we were supposed to leave, Freddie disappeared into the night. And he came like walking down this hill behind the house, and his fucking fitted Kangol hat was all fucked up and sideways. And he had all these branches and like twigs and grass and shit like all over his hair, and his ponytail was down. And I said, what are you doing? He's like, yo, I don't know. I woke up at this girl's house and like, I fucking found my way back. I was just walking through backyards, like all the way to.
Oh my God.
Fred's incredible. Like there should be a full length documentary about Fred Gall. Like what an incredible dude.
Ken Burns, man.
One time me and Freddie were kind of hooked on crack in SF. And and we were staying at this hotel, the Hotel Metropolis. And we would buy crack off this one dude on 7th or Jones. But it was the one dude, because sometimes we go to buy and we get sold like pieces of wax, like it wasn't even crack. So we knew this dude was at least consistent. And I don't do drugs anymore. All I do is drink wine. Like I couldn't imagine doing drugs now. But whatever. I'm not advocating it. It's just the truth, and it was a big part of my life coming up. And this is the year 1999. We're in SF, and Freddie was the brave one. Freddie would buy it. You know what I mean? I might be paying for it, but I think that was the exchange too. Like, I'm paying for it. You got to approach the dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Fuck.
And the dude spit out $40 worth of a couple rocks, and Fred like was psyched, so he went to bend down to pick it up, and the fucking dude kicked Freddie in the chest so hard. In my memory, I think Freddie lifted off the ground like this high.
Oh, fuck.
And he just said, "Motherfucker, don't ever pick up rocks in front of me, trying to get me busted." And I'll never forget that image of just a foot in the middle of Fred's stomach and him just like lifted up off the ground. But that was a crazy trip in SF. And then Freddie and I got beat up by a cop we would smoke crack and we would just go skate just by ourselves. We like bombing hills and shit. Like it was fucking nuts. But again, we were like 21, 22 years old, whatever. And
That's crazy.
when they made that federal building with the big banks things, that was new at the time. Those big gray banks, it was like a new spot. Like Huff had tricks there. I can't think of who else had stuff there, but whatever. Freddie was like, "Yo, dude, check this out. I'm gonna drop in," and it's like 8:00 in the morning. We've been up all night, and he runs up to drop in on this tall part of the bank, and I'm just kind of watching, like, "Yeah, cool, let's do it." And he does it, and a motorcycle cop comes up, like, "Hey, stop!" So we turned right and tried to bomb this hill, and the dude, like Starsky and Hutch, like skidded and just got us, and somehow, and again, we're way out of our gourd. And he threw both of us up against this metal gate and was just like, whap, 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 just big punches, and just like, he was like the Black Bruce, this cop was like the Black Bruce Lee. He was just like, whap, whap, whap. And all of a sudden, like, I'm hitting the face and I'm on the ground, and I look up and Fred's just got his face and his arm like against the gate, and Freddie's saying, "Yo, Dill, tell him about my wrist, tell him about my wrist," because Freddie had it fucked up. We deserved it. Looking back, we deserved it. We were acting like maniacs. Someone should have kicked our ass.
Jeez, man.
Oh my god.
And they
I got
did.
a question, man.
Yes, sir.
How do you kick a habit like that? Because I mean, everyone knows the term crackhead. Like, you see what that can do to people. How do you avoid that outcome and then have a long, successful skate career after that?
Well, me personally, it was just in the time of that. I could really take it or leave it. My thing was drinking. My thing was like whiskey and pills. So like whiskey and Vicodin were harder for me to kick than something like crack. And crack is just, it's so fast, and it's so, you get going so fast and so quickly, and it's easy to recognize, like, oh man, this could really fucking turn you into something else. So you should probably walk away from it. So I could walk away from it.
Wow, that's hectic, but glad you did. Glad you
We
did.
we had fun.
You got any more Freddie stories, man? We're here for the Fred stories.
I mean, again,
Probably endless.
this is when Freddie was bad, but like on a workshop trip, I was trying to hide from Fred somewhere in Ohio. So I didn't go to the bar I knew he was at, because he was being really bad, and I didn't want to deal with it that night. And so he finds me at this bar. I'm sitting at a stool by myself. Fred sits in the stool next to me and then gets out of the stool and just throws it behind his head. And it crashes onto a table of people sitting behind us. And so instantly, like, security, everything, the bartender, "What the fuck is it? Is this your friend?" Nope. Like, "You know this guy?" Nope. And Freddie's in a headlock by this huge white motherfucker with a beard has just got Freddie in a headlock, dragging him out. And he's like, "Yo, Dill." I love that fucker. Me and Freddie have traveled the world together and been bad and had fun. And I love Fred, man. I love Fred.
He's the best.
What a warrior. And I'm so glad he's clean, man. It's epic. It's epic.
And he's shredding again, man.
Mm-hmm. Shreddy Mercury.
Yeah, that party put out, I think, last year was just awesome to see after all these years, still getting down.
Right.
Yo, Dill.
Can you tell us about the time period when you were living on Prince Street with Strobeck? Anything specific come to mind when you think back to that era?
Bill would play Cass McCombs nonstop, and that's what led me to having that Cass McCombs song in my DVS part. So that was cool. And Bill and I are like long lost brothers. You know what I mean? Like I've known Bill forever. So he needed help. He was broke, and I had a room open. So fuck it. I said, "You film. I need to film. Just live here." And so he did. Yeah. No, it was cool.
Yeah.
And it was like, and I was in like a long-term relationship at the time. So it would be like the three of us sometimes just hanging out in the house. And the house had it was a super small 2-bedroom apartment on Prince Street, right before 6th Avenue. To be approximate, it was the corner of Prince and McDougal, 199 Prince. I think it was apartment 7. And the carpeting for the living room and the 2 rooms is much like the carpeting in this room right now. It's like that office kind of carpeting that's super thin, And I ripped up all the carpeting, and then there's a hardware store that's been on Prince Street since like the fucking late 1800s that's still there, I believe. And I measured the living room, which was small, but I measured it, and I had the dudes at the hardware store cut 2x4s to the exact measurements of said apartment, and I drilled them in and made like a dock hardwood floors, and then I sanded it, and then I stained it seafoam green, and then I varnished it, and that is some like funny drug addict shit right there. Like that is like it was incredible, man. It came out great. It came out so good. And then I might be able to, who knows, like, but and then the kitchen area and the long hallway to the door was all this old linoleum that must have been from like the 60s, and I painted that all black, like a super shiny black, and I varnished it, and that came out great. And my room had a super epic spray paint piece that Gons did, and it was this guy praying, and it said "Sweet Dreams" with like these angels flying away. That was just, man, that time, 2004, like New York skating. Like I got there in '94, but like, and I couldn't afford to live there till about '98. But skating in New York from '98 to about 2006 was just. I'm so glad I had that time. I'm so glad. It was beautiful on and off the board, like romances and fucking just being in the streets on the board and just going all over New York, and just it was so great. It was so great.
Mm-hmm. Bill was telling me that when you were filming for Skate More, you would kind of go out and skate just with Bill, but Bill would be just sitting there with his headphones on, so it was kind of like you were just skating by yourself for most of it. I'm
not shitting you. I'm not playing, man. Like fucking, I would forget Bill was there. Sage, are you okay? Just want to make sure. I got my friend Sage and Kyle here. They're the ones that are in the studio. Sage is the engineer, basically, of the FA radio. But he was sitting with his head down in his hands, and I was like, "You okay?" But yeah, when we were filming for the DVS video, it would just be me, Bill and I, and we'd be filming, and it would be like 19 degrees outside, and I would warm up in wearing a North Face jacket and until I got warm enough to do it, and then I would be skating in a t-shirt in 19-degree weather. It was crazy. We skated all the way up into December 27th, and then we flew to Miami to film the rest of it. But yeah, that was great. But no, Bill's funny to film with, like, especially when it's just you and him. Like, you'd be filming with Bill, and out of nowhere he'd be like, "Buddha monks in the trunk, turn the bass up," or we'd be filming and Bill would be like, "Tons of guns." He would just like Wu-Tang raps, Gangstar raps. He would just say one line. And it always make me laugh. Like it always. So yeah, it was great. I'm glad that Bill and I got so much of what we got done. And no, I pulled, I'm not, whatever. Like Bill's done a great job on his own, but I pulled Bill into every fucking project I've almost ever worked on. You know what I mean? Like DVS and Supreme, and yeah, it's been great. And I'm proud of him. He's done a great job.
In the DVS era, I feel like skateboarding was still just so judgmental when anyone was even slightly different, and you were rocking the shorts with the high yellow socks and all types of outfits that people in skateboarding weren't really used to.
And that was in Johannesburg. That was in Johannesburg, South Africa, that line. There was 2 big abandoned buildings, and there was laundry lines between the 2 buildings because people were living in the buildings. It was fucking epic. Johannesburg is so epic, and I was so glad to be able to film a line in Johannesburg. But go on. Sorry, Saif, I rudely interrupted you.
Oh, all good, all good. I was just wondering if during that era, were you catching flack just for having your outfits be so different?
I mean, look at the shit I was wearing in photosynthesis.
Yeah.
You know, it got to a point where I just now I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what anyone thinks because that's the wrong place to shoot from. If you're caring what people think, of course, when I look in the mirror and I go out and I want to look, what I deem nice, of course. So that's me. You know what I mean? And growing up in the 90s and just everyone was so insecure and everybody was like tough and like don't be a fag, like all this stuff, like that shit sucked, like all that tough guy shit, and people like kind of celebrate that and that kind of nostalgia. And it's like you weren't there for when that shit was corny and people were all acting tough and all that shit. It was really machismo and just like dudes being like the lame part of it, being dudes in formative years. So when I found my own and I'm living in New York and I'm fucking getting laid all the time and I'm doing a great fucking job and like whatever I deem is cool, like fuck yeah. It's like there's a certain level of feeling yourself that's not bad. You know what I mean? There's a certain level of like, fuck yeah, I'm wearing this. Fuck you. And also like looking at someone like fucking Madonna. She changed throughout my whole life. It was kind of inspiring. So I thought, fuck, I'll be fucking Madonna in skateboarding. I'll fucking change my shit up all the time. And it's different. And and of course, when you're in a realm of zero and flip and all that shit, and they're just throwing gnarly shit at you. And I had a trick in Arto's part. I had a trick, and I forget the really sorry or very sorry or whatever, but Arto asked me for a trick, and I remember being like, fuck, I have to film something gnarly. Like this, he's so gnarly. And I got a good trick. I got a trick that scared me. So that's in Arto's part. But in that time period of just the barrage of handrail and craziness, yeah, I thought, oh, if I'm gonna stick out, I should probably do something different.
No, for sure. I just remember, I mean, I feel like these days it's more and more easy to just have multiple interests. It's like people catch less flack, but at that time, I'm just curious if the skate police were coming for you.
No, I was in my mid-20s, and right when I got to my mid-20s, and Supreme had a lot to do with it. Like the fact that the guys from Supreme like welcomed me with open arms in 1994 really helped my confidence. And that's because of me being like, they basically, when I walked into Supreme in 1994 in April or whatever, right when they opened, they said, oh, you're Pickle, you're Gino's boy, you're Keenan's boy, you're Huff's boy, of course, like come in. So that helped big time. And no, I like insecurity was not something I dealt with in my mid-20s and beyond that. Now am I insecure? Of course. Maybe the word's not insecure. Maybe I'm just worried all the time. Like my resting state is discomfort and worry. I think doing a company's a bitch, man. It's a bitch. It's a super bitch, and it's a lot of work for little payout. And I think that people that know about me within skateboarding, meaning like the industry people, and maybe it trickles off into people who pay attention to FA, whatnot. Like I'm not fucking rich. You know what I mean? Like I can take care of my mom and her husband, and when my brother needs help, great. I'm so happy to do it. Like I'm so happy to take care of my mom because, and my mom says this. She says, when you were a child and you stopped going to school, basically, when you were 13, you fully tried to stop going to school. And I said, no, you turned to me and said, I'm going to be a pro skateboarder one day. I'm going to pay for you. And the fact that came to fruition
Wow.
Again, I'm not patting myself on the back. This is my own little life experience.
But you deserve it. You should, man.
No, and it's so great to help her and her husband, and I love them immensely, and so it's just one of the, I guess, giant things that skateboarding gave me, and I'm able to do that. But yeah, insecurity, fucking back then, fuck that shit. I was cool. Like I was getting laid and fucking, like it was crazy. Like New York was so epic, and all my friends were epic, and you know, I had so many friends that didn't even skate, and they had such an impact on me. My friends that were artists and painters and writers and filmmakers and bartenders and doormen, and it was just such a, it was great. It just was really great. So again, yeah. And you know, I grew up watching fucking Prince videos. You know what I mean? I grew up watching Prince. I got, the first time I saw tits on a big screen was when my mom and my brothers took me to fucking see Purple Rain. So when Abilonia gets her tits out to jump into Lake Titicaca, because Prince told her, like, if you want to make it in the music industry, you got to jump into Lake Titicaca in the wintertime. Like, tits came out, and I was probably like 7, and I was like, yep, I want that. Whatever that is, I'm gonna get it, and I fucking got it. I'm still getting there.
Oh shit.
While we're on the topic, tell us
Topic
about
of
the
what?
hole. Just New York.
Oh, the
and living
whole
life. Yeah, what was up with the hole, man? Set the scene for us.
The Hole was a place that it was a bar / nightclub that was super damaged. There wasn't doors on the bathroom, and our friends Kama and Alon, they now own a really good restaurant called Baccarat that you should go to in New York if you're there. And we do a subsidiary of FA called FA Books, and we just published Alon's photo book, and it's called New York 2000 to 2005. And Alon is still in New York, and him and Kama have that great restaurant, and they have 2 beautiful daughters. And yeah, the Hole was insane. The Hole Wednesdays and Saturdays was gay and straight night, which was just a mix of all of our friends anyways. And I didn't skate for about a year. And I just asked Alon, like, I just said, can I work at the bar? And at first he thought I was joking. I said, no, I want to know what it's like to be a bartender. And I said, you don't have to pay me, and I'll take all the tips and put it in your guys' tip box. And he said, great. And I said, as long as I give my friends free drinks and I can drink. And yeah, I did it. Like I would smoke PCP while I was working, and like it was fucking incredible. Like it was really incredible. And I didn't realize that when you are a bartender, it's like you're on stage, and there's women, and you interact. It was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. But I'll leave it at
The
that.
Hole.
Yeah.
Do you remember Bill getting arrested there?
He got arrested outside for peeing.
Mm-hmm.
He got arrested outside for peeing, and he got arrested on a weekend. So I think he had to stay 2 days.
Oh no.
In the Slammer.
Downtown. He had to stay 2 days. And Bill told me that when he was in jail, like dudes would be like, this dude looked like a wet bird. So the dudes would be like, man. They'd be like, Shaggy dude look like a wet bird. That was pretty funny.
Hell yeah.
You gotta be careful. You know, back then you had to be careful peeing on the streets, man. You had to, like, you know, they would bag you for that.
Woo.
Peeing on the streets was like graffiti back then. They'll get you.
He said that you guys knew the security guard and shit, and he tried to run back in to the hole, and the security guard was like, I can't let you back in here, man.
Yeah, what was his name? What was that dude's name? He was huge. Yeah, I can't remember. And again, the Hole, there was no velvet ropes out front. The Hole had no doors on the bathroom. It was graffiti everywhere. Like Like I can hold my pee for a crazy amount of time. I'm so proud to this day that I can. But when I'd have to pee at the hole, I'd pee in an empty whiskey bottle behind the bar.
So proud to this day. I love that. Oh shit.
No, the hole
That's
was
epic.
fucked up. Like anyone who was there, we liked the hole especially because there was a certain generation of people who grew up in the 80s and the 70s in New York, like older dudes and women. And when they came to the hole, they said, "You guys are doing this right. This feels like the old days." And we were like, "Yeah, that's right." So yeah, the hole,
That's
man. Now the hole's the cock. So a gay bar called the Cock went into the hole. It's true. It's true.
Sick.
It's true. I'm not making
Too
this stuff
perfect.
up.
Can you take us behind the scenes on the 9/11 photo?
I mean, I think that, not to sound like a kook or whatever, but I mean, that day changed my life. It was totally fucking insane, and I was in bed with my girlfriend Coco, and she was a flight attendant. She was a flight attendant for Delta, and Coco was basically a brown Pamela Anderson. She was super fucking hot, and I heard my roommate say, "What do you mean a plane?" And this is like early, like Motorola flip phones. And I heard my roommate, because we had super thin walls on Canal Street, and he said, "What do you mean a plane hit the World Trade Center?" And I just whoop, pants on, shirt on, like out. Like I needed to go see what the fuck this was about. And I got down there shortly after the first plane hit, and yeah, I went down Church Street, super far. And when I first left my door on Canal Street, you can't see the World Trade Center because like the building's right there, two in front of it. So you have to go west on Canal Street and then go left, south onto Church Street. Then the towers appear. And no, sorry, wait, that. Think about West Broadway. Does West Broadway turn into church? I can't remember. Whatever. It's been a long time. It's over 20 years. But no, I got way down there and I saw people jump. I saw people holding hands jump. And I heard them hit and shit. It was way gnarly. It was way fucked up. And it super changed my life on some shit of like, just of what can actually happen in reality. And it flipped my mind around. And for days, we thought a plane was going to like hit fucking Times Square or whatever. It was crazy. It was a different thing. It was super crazy. And I was way down, and I'm not one to rubberneck at accidents because I've seen so much fucked up shit. I tell these stories on the radio show, like these things that I've seen, the death and all this shit. And so I'm not a rubbernecking person. But it was so shocking. I was wrong. I got there shortly after the second plane hit. Sorry. You're so shocked you can't look away. It's so engulfing to the human experience. You just like, it doesn't make sense. And when I first got down there, I thought one big plane hit and went through one building and hit the other building. I don't know. I didn't know it was two planes. You know what I mean? And so I started walking back like kind of heavy-headed and really, I couldn't even accept what I just saw. I couldn't. It was just too mind-boggling. So I walked back, and we're where that photo's taken, and my roommate just said, "Turn around," and he took that photo. And we kept that photo under lock and key for a long time because we didn't want anyone to think like whatever that people would think. But of course, if it happened now, like people would be taking selfies with a dog and shit, like.
Yeah.
So whatever. So that's that.
How did the rest of the day unfold for someone that like lives so close to that? Like, and even like the days after that, like
it was crazy. It was crazy. Our friend
even
Mike,
like up here in Canada, they like took us like out of school and stuff. Like that day obviously like changed the world forever, but like in New York, the experience must have been insane.
It was totally crazy. We were friends with a guy named Mike that ran a deli. This Egyptian guy, Mike, he was super cool. And he ran a deli on Canal and West Broadway. And Mike stayed open the whole time. And he was our boy already. And there was an Italian restaurant just down from Mike at the corner of Grand and West Broadway. And we were friends with them and they stayed open. So we would put bandanas on because of the dust and everything, walk to an Italian restaurant that we were friends with the people. They had a projector playing on the wall, CNN. So we'd be eating dinner like 20 blocks away from World Trade, and we're eating dinner and they're showing us like the shit on CNN. That was bugged out. And the night of, I stayed up all night. I had this tiny TV and I stayed up all night watching coverage on New York One. And anyone who lives in New York knows about New York One. It's the like local news station. And so I stayed up till 5, 6, 7 in the morning watching New York One. And I got up at 3 in the afternoon. We had a big loft. Our loft on Canal was huge. I got up and walked the length of our loft and then opened the door to the fire escape, and 3 jets. The whole sky was brown. And these 3 jets, like, super low, flew over like, phew, phew, phew. And I just was like, holy shit. And then I looked down and there's this giant truck with smashed cop cars. It was fucking insane. I'm laughing now because it was just absurd.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
So nowadays you've been dedicating more of your time to painting.
Yeah.
Even sold your first painting not too long ago. Tell us about Dill the Painter. I've
always drawn little pictures and stuff, and we've used my drawings for product and whatnot. And I have a silly way of drawing, and we put it on product, and the product has moved. And then I did a painting for an Aiden board that I liked it, and it came out good, and I was tripped out that I liked it enough, because I'm usually, with my art, I'm super insecure. I'm super insecure about my art, and I'm super insecure about my paintings, because it's a process. It's like skateboarding. Like I look at it as like learning tricks and trying to get better and having a look that is all my own and whatnot. So about 7 years ago, I thought, fuck it, I'm gonna start painting a lot. I really want to paint, and I got into it, and I've been lucky enough to be friends with, a lot of people who are professional painters, and it's not them being like, oh, do this and get a projector and paint like this and do that. No, none of that. I would just walk up to the shit and paint. And my friends who are painters were very encouraging, just saying, you have something going on here. Like, I know you're early in on this, but it's cool and it's different. You're not using a projector and you're not painting from photo, and that's tough. So keep going. So anyone I respect, like Gons or my friend Sage Vaughn, who I use his studio in Pasadena, and he's like a family member of mine. But I'd send Mark my shit, and Mark's like, dude, it's cool. Like, you got to keep doing it. And that was like, okay, fuck. That's my childhood hero. Of course, I'm going to, like, and it was such an encouragement. And like my ex-girlfriend, Chiharu, she's done epic fucking FA graphics. She's done really good shit for us. And she could paint like photorealistic. And when I would show her my paintings, she would say, hey, this is original. So it's nice to have people you respect tell you, yeah, keep it up. That's great. So over the last 7 years, I've been doing it. And my friend Wanto is a graffiti writer in Tokyo. And he also does these really great oil paintings. And he was showing with a really good gallery in Tokyo. And a couple of years ago, well, no, like 3 years ago, he came to visit me during the whole lockdown, whatnot, because Wanto's fucking nuts. He's crazy. He's like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to travel. He's from Tokyo, but we've been friends for a long time. And so he looked at the lockdowns like, I'm going to travel the world, fucking whatever. So he came to visit me when I was living in Pasadena, and he was looking at this one big painting, like pretty big painting. And he said, I'm doing a show at that gallery again once all this shit's done, and I want that painting in my show. I said, man, I don't know. Like, it's going to cost like $1,000 to send it out there. And like, I've never even offered anything for sale. Like, I don't know. I think if it gets sent back, I'll feel like a certain amount of shame. But this painting was already 5 years old or 4 years old. And I said, fuck it. Sent the painting and it sold. And the amount it sold for, which isn't crazy, but it was crazy enough for me to think, holy shit, I can paint some shit and someone's going to buy it and they want to keep it in their house? That's crazy.
That's a cool feeling.
And then I've only sold 2 paintings so far, but I've only made 2 available. But yeah, I like painting so much because it's and not to complain. I shouldn't complain, but I do complain. But making FA is a total bitch. It's really hard. It's very difficult. I'm not looking on the internet for graphics. I'm digging in used bookstores, trying to find images I can make collages out of. And I'm opening books that people haven't opened in 20 years or however long. And I love going into bookstores where it's completely unorganized and it's just fucked. And I'll stand there for 3 hours, just boom, 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 and then one image. Yes, okay, I can make that into this and this and that. And I've done a good job. I know I've done a good job over the years with making the shit look a certain way. And the collage stuff came from making postcards for girlfriends in the 90s. So I would go on tours and stuff, and I would cut stuff up from newspapers and magazines and whatnot, and then I would glue it to a postcard I bought. And that's when I first started making collages. Because girls love getting shit in the mail. Women love getting shit in the mail. It's epic. So, and if I go to Africa and I'm sending the chick postcards, like, please. Like, it's so on. But the painting's a whole different thing. Painting it's difficult. It's really difficult. And I still don't know what I'm doing, which I think is beneficial in a sense, because there can be a certain naive approach to it, which can only be, if I paint something and someone fucking likes it and tells me they like it, yeah, that's great. If I paint something and someone fucking buys it, that's just still mind-blowing. But still, to me, if I'm riding in the back of an Uber and I look out the window anywhere in the world and someone's wearing FA, I'm still like, what the fuck? They bought that? Like, holy shit. You bought that. That's crazy. So.
Yeah, it's epic.
So other than painting and blowing up in the painting world, hopefully.
No, well, let's see. But I do want that. I do want that to be my second career. I really do want the painting to be my thing. And it's like, dude, I said, dude, why did I say dude? It is, it's almost comparable to landing a trick you didn't think you could land. Sometimes when, a lot of days you're in the studio and you just move paint around and you just think, I fucking suck. Fuck. I suck. And you're bummed. And then another day you'll turn around, you do like 3 different things and you'll step back and go, oh, wait, I did it. Like, I did that. And it works. And then you get your confidence back and then you think, holy shit, this might sound totally fucking insane, but I might be able to do this as a career. So, yeah, we'll see. Got to get my music career going. Got to make these beats.
Wishing you nothing but success, bruv.
Thank you.
So what's next for Jason Dill?
I don't know. I don't even like that guy.
More radio, man.
I love doing. Thank you, Dono. I love doing the radio show, and the thing that's difficult about it is that I go looking for all these super strange films to. We're basically making music videos for every song, and it's not difficult for me to show up at the studio here and just press record and start going, because that's what we do. We just press record and I start going, and then I play the songs. And the one thing that's cool about it too, it's nice to be my age. And of course, when it comes to music, you like what you like. Like, I love Stevie Wonder. I have Stevie Wonder tattooed on me. Stevie Wonder might as well be Jesus Christ, like him and Richard Pryor. But what do I like? I like Gil Scott-Heron. I like Radiohead. I like Elliott Smith. I like Cass McCombs. I like fucking Bright Eyes. I like Curtis Mayfield. I like Desmond Decker. I like Fela Kuti. I like all this shit. But then when you're doing the show, the first 4 episodes, I was kind of just shooting from the hip, like, yeah, I'll play this, play this, play this. Once I got to about the 5th show, I was like, I need to find new shit. So it's been really good to find music that I've never heard and then bring it into the show. And now I have that music with me where I love this song, I love that song. And that's been really great. Because I love going from the angle of life is I don't know anything. I don't know anything. And I'm in a constant place of being willing to learn and to be willing to realize how fucking ignorant I am. Because if the ignorance is like that whole thing, like, oh, the glass is half full. Like, no, bitch, my glass has like a drop in it. Like, come on. There's so much more. There's so much more. There's so many places I haven't been. I've been around the world, but I've still never been to Brazil somehow. Like, I don't understand how that has that. I'm Irish. I've never been to Ireland, but I sent my grandma to Ireland to see where, my great grandma was born and whatnot, where we're from. But I think coming from the angle of like smugness seems to reek of one sense of uber intelligence, and I like to shoot from the angle of like, I'm totally fucking out of my mind. I don't know what's going on. So please let me find more. And what's next? I don't know. I just like keep painting and I don't know. I paint and I go on big walks and I make the company go and I do the radio show and hopefully get back to traveling again and I don't know, try not to pay attention to the politics of America and how crazy shit is, because it is totally crazy. Man, Justin Trudeau, huh? You guys don't like him anymore.
No. We're not
Jeez.
going there.
Man, he is so disliked now. It's incredible. But
yeah.
But you can't grow up looking like that and like you're a good person. You just can't. You can't. The same thing with Trump. Like, you can't grow up looking like that. And it's like the opposite. It's like Justin Trudeau's the good-looking side of the Harvey Dent character in Batman, and Trump's like the like mangled side. Like, no, but the world's crazy, and the world's crazy, and I try to just, I don't know, I try to just do my thing, and I know that I take the angle of burying my head in the sand with a lot of issues going on in the world, but I give to charities that I give to, and I do my thing, and I try to be a nice person. And when I walk down the street, I smile, and people smile at me, and that feels good. You know what I mean? So that's that. But I don't know. I'll probably end up back in Asia because I love Tokyo, and I love Korea. But that's that, and hopefully do enough paintings to have I'm supposed to have a show in Tokyo with that gallery. It's called Nariyama, and I told the guy that offered me the show that owns the gallery. He asked for 9 small paintings, and 9 or 8 like this, and 1 bigger one. And I said, that might take me 2 years. And I've been working for 9 months, like, since I got back. So we'll see, maybe.
Sick,
that'd
man.
be epic.
That's awesome.
Holy Christ! I can feel the heat from here.
All right, Dill, a little rapid fire. Let's get spicy. Favorite skater?
Mark Gonzalez, Grant Taylor, Dylan Reeder, Mike Carroll, Gino Iannucci, Keenan Milton, Keith Huffnagel, Matt Hensley, Brian Lottie, Ave, Sage, Elsesser, Tyshawn, Infinity.
I wonder if I let you keep going long enough, you'd get to me and Seifa on the list.
You gotta send me your sponsor me tape.
Favorite video?
David Bowie's Let's Dance, where they filmed it in Australia. That was great.
Favorite video part?
I'm just playing. Videos, I don't know. Video days, for sure. Video days had the most Video Days and Tim and Henry's Pack of Lies had the most impact on me, like the psychotic impact. And then the first Alien Workshop video that I'm not in, Memory Screen, it's a piece of art. It's incredible. Neil Blender is also one of my favorite skateboarders of all time. And I've never met him. And I feel like I've met every pro skateboarder of all time, but I've never met Neil.
Damn. Favorite video part?
Mine, photosynthesis. Just kidding.
Ooh.
Just
now
kidding,
stick with
just
that.
kidding.
That's hard.
No. But again, anything Mark Gonzalez, anything Guy Mariano, anything Henry Sanchez, like anything Matt Hensley.
Let's go. Favorite style?
Gino Iannucci and Dylan.
Which skater had the biggest influence on the way you skate?
Mark Gonzalez.
Most talented skateboarder on planet Earth?
Grant Taylor.
Favorite trick?
Backside 360.
Hardest trick for you?
360 flip, regular or switch.
Ooh.
I've only had like 2 regular tray flips that came out, and I had 1 switch tray flip in Snuff, the line at Black Rock. You're gonna think I'm totally full of shit. That's the only switch tray flip I've ever done. Down the stairs. It's the only one. I swear on my mother. Only one I've ever done.
Switch tray gang. Let's get it.
No, I'm not part of it. Anthony would always try to teach me. So Anthony would try to teach me switch tray. I would try to teach him how to back 3. It just both never worked.
That's true. Most illegal trick?
I don't give a shit. I don't care what someone else is doing. Like, fucking whatever. Like, I don't know. I never watched Dude, Where's My Car either. Like, who gives a shit?
What the heck?
I just don't. What do I care? Like, if they're having fun, like, fuck it, they're having fun. Me. I don't know. Like, and I'm not gonna tune it. Like, it's like any skate podcast. I'm only gonna watch and or listen if it's, like one of the dudes.
Someone important to you,
Yeah.
Favorite clip you've ever gotten?
Jeez, this is some narcissistic shit. There's one. There's one. I switched back to 180 over a safety barricade in Dayton, Ohio, in photosynthesis, and it's probably one of my favorite things I've ever done on film. Because I'm flying, like I'm fucking flying through the air, and that's cool. Like that, it's cool to fly through the air. That and the nose grind tail grab in the pool.
Ooh, yeah.
That and to get the cover of Thrasher again at the age of 34 was really gnarly for me, like a personal achievement, and just the fact that I'm doing like a Christian Asoy / Sergi Ventura trick in that modern age of 2011 felt really good. But yeah, that switchback 180 and the nose grind tail grab. The nose grind tail grab was the hardest thing I've ever done on a skateboard.
Wicked clip. Worst trend you've been a part of?
The 90s big pants, small wheels. I think Ave probably said the same thing, right?
I think so.
Wasn't that Ave's mirrored answer, basically?
I mean, fuck, I come from Goofy Boy era, so probably that shit.
Yeah, we were, but whatever. You're young. You're trying to fit in.
Gnarliest trick you've ever witnessed?
When Dylan impossible the bench at the Seaport, that was pretty fucking psycho.
Ooh.
I was right there when he did that. That was insane.
Iconic. I've
seen a bunch of crazy shit go down, but that's one that comes to mind.
What's the one trick that got away?
Son of a bitch. Okay, I was just talking about this with someone. The one thing I regret in my career was doing that thing where I say, I'll come back. I'll come back and get it. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just fucking said, dude, I was strong. I was young. I should have I just should have, man, there were so many times that I could have done something and I just walked away. But I fucking landed, and this is 1998. I landed on a nollie frontside flip over a table on flat. I fucking landed and shot out. And it's just like, I want to see that footage. I bet Joe might have it, but
holy fuck.
It was just one of those days. It was just booming. And I thought, no way, I could do this. Like, get the fuck out of here. And I fully landed and shot out. And I just did that thing. You're young. I was like, I'll come back. I'll get it again. And it just never felt like that again. So I never got it. And I tried to nollie. For the cherry video, I tried Supreme. I tried to nollie backside flip a table, but I didn't come anywhere as close as I did to the nollie frontside flip.
Wow, that would have been epic. Sorry to hear you.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda, bitch.
You got those fat, floaty nollie front ones, man. I could picture it. It would have been crazy. What's the biggest bunt you've ever witnessed?
I'll give you the complete opposite of a bunt if this does anything for anything. I used to skate with Jeremy Ray a lot, and Jeremy would tell me certain tricks he wanted to do, and I'd be like, yeah, fucking right. And then we'd go there, and he did it. And I was just like, oh my God, he did that. So that's the opposite.
You're telling me you've never seen Freddie just fucking no sleep, just claim some wild shit, try some shit he has no business trying?
But that's not a bunt because he's actually going for it. I thought the bunt's like, yeah, I'm going to do that, and you have no you. No, I've seen Freddie. I've stayed up all night with him in Ohio, and he tried to no slide a rail against the wall and broke his ankle, and it was like 15 stairs. It was ridiculous, but and then I saw him, and then we were staying at Joker Struzzi's house, and so Freddie's on crutches, and because Freddie and I were bad in Ohio too, and I remember Freddie on a mattress on the floor, and he was asleep, and I think I was sitting. I'm pretty sure I was reading a book in the living room, and Freddie's asleep in the morning, and Freddie would make those like small pizzas, and he would dump tons of pepper, like a crazy amount of pepper on the pizza, and I watched Freddie wake up with his eyes closed and like try to get to the pizza, like trying to get to the pizza. It's still trying to get to the pizza, and his eyes are closed, and he gets to the pizza, and he lifts it up to his face, and then he sneezed 25 times. It was one of the funniest things I've ever watched. It was incredible. It was like watching a dog dreaming. It was insane.
Shout out, Freddie. What's the last new trick you learned?
Acceptance of fate and understanding that human hate and stupidity and ignorance is effervescent and omnipresent, and you can't really do anything about it. So you might as well just fucking do the best you can with your own existence and smile at people in the street. If they smile at you, you smile at them in the first place. It's all good. It's fun and great, and just live your life and not be an asshole. And yeah.
That's some real talk right there,
but
bro.
that's not even new. I feel like I've been doing that like my whole shit. But whatever.
Dream job after skating?
Painting. Yeah, art. Just art in general.
Hell yeah. Favorite local brand?
Cindy's Diner on Colorado Boulevard, family owned.
Let's go. Favorite local skater?
Joseph Campos.
Sick.
It's Covina, which might as well be Tulsa, Oklahoma, but it's in California.
What's the one sponsor you regret riding for?
I don't know. The people gave me money, and I rode for them, so fuck it. Like, I was thankful. And I wasn't bummed when I got kicked off 101 for stealing 36 boards and like 60 sets of wheels. Like, I deserved it. I fully deserved it. So yeah, I don't know. It's all whatever. No one's gonna remember anything anyway.
Favorite teammate ever?
Dylan. Fucking
Let's
angel.
Go.
Fucking angel.
Worst teammate ever?
Deerdick. Just kidding. Totally. I love Deerdick so much, and I just think it's so funny how I don't know if people still do it because I don't look at fucking internet bullshit, whatever. But people shit on Deerdick so hard. It's like Deerdick fucking rules. Like Deerdick was so good at skateboarding, and he was so skate, and you know he bought the workshop without even telling me and Ave. And if he would have told me and Abe, I would have said, I got something to tell you. We're not going to, you know what I mean? Like I could have told him like, we're not actually planning on staying. But super grateful for the 15 years at the workshop. That was great. I got to travel the world with Deerdick and it was so rad and fun. And Deerdick's great. He's so funny. And he's a multi-millionaire now. And he's so much funnier than that show in person. But
which one? Which show?
The ridiculousness thing.
Yeah.
Like Deerdick is a person.
Me and Seifa, we got to see Deerdick in a demo when we were teenagers. He was unreal. He went
so good, and it's so funny. So I think it's funny how Rob gets shit on, but whatever. He's not worried about it. I'll tell you that.
Nope.
I don't know. I don't like the negative connotation this whole question alludes to. So I'm not going to answer.
Moving right along. Worst company.
Back to what Abe said about Element. The thing about Element that was so crazy to me was when they did boards and shirts that said "Power to the Planet." Now you're cutting down a tree, and you're putting carcinogenic material on a skateboard. You can't recycle it, and you have the fucking nerve to act as if your stupid fucking message is protective of nature and wildlife and the planet. Like, trust me, once we all die off and just get burned off the planet by the sun, the fucking Earth's gonna be fine. The Earth's gonna be fucking happy. Like, good riddance to all these terrible people who like tried to ruin me. But Power to the Planet Element, that was so fucking crazy to me that they had the nerve to do that. Like, I'm well aware my company makes too much plastic and is just cutting down trees, all this stuff like it. Like, I was never a bad person to people, but if I do go to hell, it'll be more of a like an environmental hell.
Worst trend.
Me.
Worst style.
I don't know. Again, this is negative. Why are you trying to pull me into negative areas? You're trying to get me to talk shit. So people are like, did you hear what Dill said on the thing? And then now I'm going to go look at the Bunt because he talked shit about someone. So no. Worst style, me. Fuck it. No, but that's not true. I had a good style. And you're born with that shit. You can't fake it. Mm-hmm. All right, Seifa, what? I'm waiting.
Last one? Okay. So we're skipping worst style. Last but not least, Dill, last person you want on the sesh.
Gordie Howe.
What? What the
heck? You know, I had to pull that out just to fuck with you Canadians.
Mr. Hockey?
The fuck? Totally kidding. I just wanted to get...
His name's Mr. Hockey, man.
I just wanted to get your reaction. I was totally joking. I was totally fucking joking.
You better take that one back.
Totally. I'm kidding. Gordie Howe's a fucking celebrated Canadian, of course. Mm-hmm. I'll go with what Abe said. I concur.
Oh, Dustin Dolan?
I just said I'll go with what Abe said.
You're just trying to like focus, and you got this drunk fucking gremlin yelling at you. It's just like, fuck.
We're gonna finish it off how we started it, man. Jason Dill, thank you so much for coming on the show. Absolute pleasure to get you inside studio.
Well, I'm not actually there. I know I'm very magical, but I'm not actually there.
It's a virtual studio that we've built.
Right. No, and thank you for having my dumb old ass on this thing. And I so didn't look forward to doing this because I'm so sick of my fucking face and everything. But no, I appreciate it. And I still don't have to pee. It's incredible.
That's legendary, man.
That
sounds like a Donald Trump quote, like, and I still don't have to pee, which is incredible because I never pee. I never even actually peed my whole life.